Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salami's Arena Tournament here. We have Team Chimps, Beasty and MarineLord facing off against Myriad and Sanych. Now, if you're confused on what this is, I cast the set before, so if you want to check that out, I want to put a link in the description so you can take a look at what exactly we're looking at. I've been explaining the rules in detail in that one, so I'll try to focus more on the actual gameplay in this set. But basic idea is that you will be fighting a micro battle in the middle. It's a 2v2, and you have a specific amount of currency. It's measured in food to buy all the units and the upgrades. So every single upgrade, every single unit, that's going to cost you food. And what we have here in the first round is what I call a tech throw. So you see, Myriad and Sanych just go for a couple of villagers, but you see they've used up all their money that they had. The idea here is that they focused on techs. They have gotten a bunch of technologies in. They've basically forfeit a round in order to get the techs in, so now they will have the upper hand going in this one. In fact, they've rushed Castle Age. Now, one of the things I've always been confused about with this mode is how you age up, so that's something that's a little unclear to me as well. But they basically rushed Castle Age over here with the Malians and the Abbasids. They kind of just threw around for that, but now they will have the upper hand. So you see, up here is the score. First to 5 is going to win, but I think this is a best of 3, if I'm not mistaken. I actually am. This is still a best of 1, but in later rounds we will have best of 3s. But for now, first to 5 is going to win. So MarineLord and Beasty rock with the Chinese and the English. Other side, Myriad and Sanych have the Abbasids and the Malians. It's a Chukonu composition supported by some spears and men-at-arms. You do have some imams on the backline over here from Myriad to do some combat healing. They will be focused down by the Chukonus of MarineLord. But this is the advantage that you get rushing that Castle Age. You do get a lot of Gulams. We've also gotten some veteran Donsos out here. So Castle Age units against Feudal Age. But more importantly, heavily armored heavy infantry against units that struggle against them. Now, with good micro, MarineLord might be able to get something out of this, but I highly doubt it. Indeed, Gulams are just cutting off the escape path. If this was a Castle Age versus Castle Age army, maybe you could salvage something out of this one, but that seems unlikely. Second round will be secured by Myriad and Sanych, which is a must-have when you throw around for technology. You've basically given the previous round to MarineLord and Beasty, so you must win this one, otherwise you will fall behind so much. Teams are given 45 seconds of preparation time, by the way, as you see, and they start with 2,600 in this round. This currency that they have available is going to increase as we move on deeper and deeper into the game, and now MarineLord and Beasty are also up to Castle Age. Each of these civilizations also has a bonus on it, but I think specifically the Malian bonus has been removed because it was basically broken. You had a discount on your units, so by the end you could get like 100 archers, which was just crazy broken with poison arrows. Looks like it's going to be a Musafati warrior plus Mangonel play, supported by some Abbasid archers. Composite bows will be there for Sanych. On the other side, crossbows, Nest of Bees, supported by men-at-arms, and the King as well. King is out here to provide the network of Castle's aura to everybody, including the teammates. Although it's a little glitched right now, it only does that to nearby units. You see them glow. Nest of Bees getting some cute volleys in there, but here come the Musafati warriors. Coming from the shadows, they have been concealed, and that's such a good ambush over here. Mangonel survives, but now gets taken down by the men-at-arms. Archers trying to focus the crossbows over here. Musafati warriors trying to deal with the men-at-arms. This could still be anyone's round over here, but Musafati warriors, them being glass cannons, are slowly being picked off by the crossbows. Only a handful of men-at-arms remain, though. And the archers are doing such a good job dispatching all those crossbows. The King is low HP, there is an Imam as well to heal. And looks like Sanych and Myriad will secure round number 3. I love this play. I think this was one of the most creative uses of civilization bonuses in this mode that I've ever seen. I haven't seen a lot of games in here, but I've seen a couple before. And I have to say that the Musafati warriors just running in concealed and then ambushing the Nest of Bees, it is such a good idea, such a lovely use of the civilization bonus by Myriad. Sanych, he's going to play into Lancers over here. It's going to be Nest of Bees from MarineLord. Longbows, though, from Beasty. This is getting dicey for them. MarineLord will have quite a few crossbows over here, but we're facing 14 Lancers. Quite a few Sofas as well, and you once again have Musafati warriors. Now, the longbows should be able to deal with the Musafati warriors, no problem. Question is, how many crossbows will survive to fight off the sofas and the lancers? Balings will be deployed. Clever move here by Beasty. Will make it very difficult for the sofas and the lancers to engage. And it looks like now Musafati warriors have been revealed, and they're just getting showered with arrows over here from the longbows. No angle to choose from here for the cavalry. The Balings are just causing so much havoc over here. Nest of Bees, not really a factor right now. There's basically no infantry left to deal with. And the lancers, they are struggling to get good engagements in. Beasty pulling back the longbows. Good job focusing down the weak units. Crossbows also doing a good job over here. Beasty now shielding those remaining crossbows with his own longbows. They want to keep these blue crossbows alive to deal with all the heavy cavalry. And it looks like this is going to be a round falling into the hands of the chimps. Will make it 2 apiece. And I think we're getting very close to Imperial Age. So far, a very close set, very diverse unit compositions. And you see both teams trying to change up the composition that they operate with, trying to play into the mind games of figuring out what the opponent wants to do. And so far, it's working out both ways, actually. Let's see, upgrades are now coming in for Sanych and Myriad. If you want to go for a tech throw, I think this is the time to do it. But it looks like Sanych and his team isn't going to play for that. MarineLord and Beasty might. They haven't queued up a single unit just yet. One thing I haven't added, I guess, is that you just have to queue up the units in these buildings and you get them in the middle once the battle starts. Network of Citadels for Beasty. He's been playing with that king the whole game. And if it affected the entire army, this would be terrifying. But it only affects units very close by, so Beasty has to be very considerate of how he uses this king. Villager is just out there to spend your remaining food. If you can't buy anything else, buy a villager. It's good cannon fodder. Double mangonels this time for Myriad. Some good volleys fired in there. Crossbow is not really finding any value. No heavily armored units over here for Myriad and Sanych. Mangonels doing a good job over here, pushing back all this light archer mass. Springolds, they're actually trying to focus down the king over here. And now the Mangonels, they're getting some good shots in. Numbers looking slightly better for Beasty and MarineLord, though. They are closing the distance to the Mangonels. Will make it very difficult to use these Mangonels now. And I think Beasty's team might have enough to clean this up, but I'm probably wrong now. Crossbows disappeared, and it looks like the archers will be sufficient to clean this up. If you find an angle with the Mangonels, this should be it. And Myriad and Sanych will once again secure a round. They move up to 3. As we will hit Imperial Age in a blink of an eye. So now, this is where the real powerhouse style approach from the Chinese begins. And I think one of the things I've seen in the previous instances of these civilizations being played in this mode was Chinese being used as your late game powerhouse. If you can get to that composition of Fire Lancers plus something supporting them, it's a deadly comp. In fact, Rus and Chinese have been commonly matched up together to play Fire Lancer and Streltsy. Basically, the idea is that you're forfeiting early rounds, and then you just dominate late game once we get to Imperial. Looks like Myriad and Sanych will forfeit this round to grab all the techs. You see, they're not even going to put out any units. That's why we didn't even have any fights. Now, it's 3 apiece, but the tech advantage will be on the side of Myriad and Sanych. I think the clever way to answer to a tech throw like that is actually doing your own. That would basically mean that there is still a 1 score difference between the two teams, but the tech is going to be identical for the upcoming round. Let's see if MarineLord and Beasty do that. It's going to be 69 archers coming in here for Sanych. These guys are no joke. They are elite. They have composite bows. There's a camel archer to debuff cavalry. And a lot of heavy siege coming in here, plus some Musafati warriors. And it looks like now Beasty and MarineLord will go for the tech throw. So here the idea is that your opponent will be investing into some army. So if you don't put out any army on the field, all that money that they spent on it was wasted. Obviously, in exchange you forfeit a round, but now we have basically even technology. Beasty and MarineLord, however, they have to win 2 in a row to secure this one. It is match point for Myriad and Sanych. Obviously, they have to go for army over here. And on the other side, same has to be the case for MarineLord's team. MarineLord going very heavy on the siege. He's going 4 Springolds, 7 Nest of Bees. And Beasty, he's going to play into a bit of a meat shield with the English men-at-arms. Has a lot of longbows as well. this is a good comp as long as you don't encounter cavalry. And they will be lucky with that because there is no cavalry coming out from Myriad and Sanych. It's not just luck, probably. They probably anticipated no cavalry, but still. This could be an interesting comp over here. A lot of siege over here for MarineLord. Springboards will trade off against each other. MarineLord needs to be very considerate of that. Oh my lord. The nest of beasts just raining down death and destruction. Second volley coming in here, and it is an absolute slaughter. Just nothing left out of the army of Myriad and Sanych. That heavy siege composition for MarineLord is paying off so well. Men-at-Arms just diving deep to snipe the Springboards. Nothing left on the side of Myriad and Sanych to get rid of those nest of bees with. And this is just a full cleanup. Probably the most dominant round that we have seen from MarineLord and Beasty. Just goes to show how big of a powerhouse that Chinese can be late game. Huge cleanup over here for Beasty and MarineLord. Now comes the mind game part. Last round coming up. It is match point. What do you do? Beasty and MarineLord could opt to go for the same comp. Myriad and Sanych have to try and counterpick that. But it also means that Beasty and MarineLord have to anticipate a counterpick. You could go for heavy cavalry over here if you're Myriad and Sanych. And because of that, I wouldn't be disappointed to see Beasty go for crossbows. If they have that read, that could be perfect. Looks like he's going to play longbow man-at-arms. Same composition again, but there's the Lancer play, and you see there's going to be biology as well for Myriad, and he's going to play a lot of war... Wait. I think he's grabbing warrior scouts. Oh no, he's not having warrior scouts, he's grabbing sofas. Yeah, a lot of heavy cavalry. Some spears have been mixed in by Beasty in the end, but 14 of them may not be enough. A lot of palings to be deployed. But Nest of Bees won't do much against that many Lancers and Sofas. Question is, what can the palings accomplish over here? Some Imams have been mixed in on the back line as well to provide some healing. Spearmen doing decent work over here, but they're only veterans. Sofas now focusing down the siege weapons. Numbers are falling on both sides though, and you see Spearmen are doing enough work over here. I think the palings have staggered the cavalry so much that they couldn't fight back against the spears. And the spears got so many free hits on them. I did not account for the possibility of deploying palings, I must admit. And it has been the best move that Beasty made in this round. Deploying the palings, just stalling out that cavalry charge, and there was nothing that the cavalry could do against that strong establishment. Beasty and MarineLord will secure this round, and with that, move on to the next one. What an amazing set that we've seen over here. You see, this game mode is very much high tempo. Each of these matches are pretty much done in less than 15 minutes, but they're nonetheless very exciting. And I think, frankly, this game mode is exceeding my expectations quite a bit. I think it's something very fresh, very new. It's a little niche, but I have to admit, it's delivering insanely intense games. And in a way, it reminds me to the style that you see in, let's say, CSGO esports. Quick round, reset, quick round, reset, instead of those, long standard games that we commonly see in tournaments. So I'm curious to see where this game mode is going to go, but I will continue to cast a couple more games out of this tournament. If you've enjoyed, please do let me know in the comments. If anything is unclear about the rules, also do let me know down in the comments so I can clarify them for the upcoming casts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.